there's a couple different phases of forgiveness. We have God's forgiveness, right? Instant, boom, done, right? And then we have, God says, well, you gotta forgive like I forgave you. Well, I'm not capable of that. And so I have to have God walk me through that stuff. He's gotta do it. I can't do it. Because my flesh don't want to forgive you. And after I was able to forgive my mom, I was able to go through my abusers, you know, and forgive them. Some I wrote a letter to, some I just got down, all of them I wrote a letter to, some I mailed, some I just got down on my knees and gave it to God. When I started to go through all of that stuff, and this is the thing about forgiveness, it's a burden. It's a burden. When I started to forgive people, little spaces in my head started to clear out because I wasn't carrying it anymore, so God rushed right in there and filled that space up. You know, and gradually, each person I went through, more space got freed up and more freedom. You know, I'm not having nightmares anymore. I don't even remember the last time I had a bad nightmare. And no, I don't want one tonight. I really don't even remember. I would have these horrible dreams of people chasing me up into trees and trying to grab my legs and, you know, crazy stuff, dying all the time. And I used to be afraid to go into a bathroom by myself. I can do that all alone now. And when I say not a single bathroom, but like bathrooms where there's a bunch of stalls. So my poor sister, I used to wake her up in the middle of the night to go with me. When she was a kid, she was like, I don't want to go. And I'm like, you have to go. I'll beat you. So it's just freeing. It's so freeing. So, forgiveness. It's not a feeling. It's a choice.
Yeah.
God chose to forgive us.
Yeah.
He chose to forgive us. Forgiveness for me isn't a choice anymore, because if I hang on to all this garbage, you know, and I got stuff. You know, we all got stuff. You know, I have a grandson that was run over by a drunk driver who's quadriplegic now. You know? And I had to walk through trying to forgive this woman who left him in the road to die in her own fear. And then in the same breath, be grateful and thank Jesus that it never was me. Because how many times did I get behind the wheel of a car drunk and not know how I got where I got? You know? Who am I to judge anybody or not forgive anybody? Because I'm sure we could all come up with lists of stuff. You know? So who's the hardest person to forgive?
Yourself.
And I seriously feel like yesterday morning I sat down, the Holy Spirit put me down at the front of the altar, and I had to go through another one, you know, because God will just reveal stuff to me. And He's not going to just be like, all right, well, here's your list. Get to work, you know. One person's going to come to mind over and over. Start working on it, friends. You know, how do you know you've forgiven? When you think of them and you don't get angry, irritated, uncomfortable. You just feel loved. You forgave them. You know? And God, when you release, I feel like when you release somebody with forgiveness, you're giving them to God and saying, here you go. Oops. Yeah,
like that.
You're giving them to God, and now God can deal with them. You know, if you keep holding on, you know, look up the poem "Broken Dreams" on the internet. Look up the whole poem, you know, and it really talks about, you know, well, God, you did this and this and this, and you know, I haven't memorized it yet. You know, but at the end, God's like, yeah, well, I was trying, but you wouldn't let go. You know, well, how come I, because you won't let go, Kristina. You need to let go. Let go of that person for me so I can take them and do what I'm going to do. You know, when I let go of my mother, look what happened. You know, my mom is saved, my sister's saved, her husband's saved, my kids are saved. Some of them aren't walking with Jesus, but they're saved. The seed's been planted, you know. And it's going on, and God's coming in and doing some work. My daughter-in-law's here, you know. I never, I can't say never in a million years, but to think that she'd be sitting here with me, I never thought that would happen. You know, because she wasn't going to leave Massachusetts either. We ain't leaving our family, all right? So, but here we are in Texas, you know, because apparently God wanted me here to speak to you ladies tonight. I don't even know. I don't know. So, yeah, over Corona, I started a YouTube channel, just for boredom mostly. I was like, started putting testimonies on there, and I have the testimony of the Bible I got when I was a kid, and there's an interaction with one of my grandsons and one of my daughter, and the ice cream salvation one. And if you just Google my name, Kristina Hurley, it'll come up. But there's a couple other testimonies on there, and as soon as I do it, right, what's the first thing that comes in with the devil? You're so stupid. Who's gonna look at you? Nobody even wants to hear what you got to say. It's like that quick. Like he's right here waiting, and Jesus over here, and he waiting too. Like, which one are you gonna listen to? And I was like, oh, shut up. And I just went and did my videos, you know. And she helps me a lot. She's very good at boosting my whatever that word is, but. Trying to do the YouTube channel. Within a week, I had like almost 70 subscribers. So I'm like, oh, and people, you know what people like? Real.
Yeah.
You know what they don't like? Fake.
Yeah.
Oh, praise Jesus. Praise Jesus. I love y'all. Just praise Jesus. Which I love them. They're sweet. That's not me. Praise Jesus. I'm real. If there's something going on and I think you should know about it, I'm very upfront. I worked in a halfway house, and these girls are coming up to me with all kinds of stories, and I'd be looking at them like, you remember I'm an alcoholic, right? Recovered. So why are you giving me that line of crap? And they're like, what? And I was like, really? And I just, I had another girl sitting in the cafeteria, and she was going on and on and on about what happened to her and horrible stuff. Honestly, horrible what her parents did to her. I'm not going to speak of it, but and I stood up and I said, so what are you going to do about it? And she was like, well, you don't know what they did to me. And I was like, you don't know what they did to me. So what are you? Are you a victim? Or are you a survivor? Pick one. Because you can only be one. You can't be a victim and a survivor. But if you're going to be a victim, what you ought to do is just get up right now, go out that door and see if you can get yourself some stuff, and just go do it. Because you don't need to be here. 2 years later, I'm not working at this place anymore, and I go into a church, and she comes running up to me, Kristina! Now, she didn't walk out. I gave her my Joyce Meyer Bible, my prized possession, because that's so informational. And she got saved in my office. And she comes running up to me, and she was like, I was so glad you said what you said to me, because I decided that day I was going to be a survivor and not a victim. Be real.
Yeah.
Be real. People, I wasn't somebody, and some people, they need that little coddling because that's how they receive. It's not a bad thing. I wasn't that person. I needed somebody to say, Kristina, what are you going to do? My friend says to me, listen, you can't pray for God to take the desire for alcohol out of you and drive to the package store. You know, and I'd be driving to the package store saying, oh, hey, God, put a tree down. If you don't want me to go, put a tree down. You know, and he never did. You know, he never did. I always made it to the package store, you know, because we always had a choice. And my friend's like, well, he can take the desire away, but he's not going to blow up all the package stores. He's not going to kill all the drug dealers. He's not going to go kill everybody you don't like and strike them dead like they did in the old days, you know? Sinner, dog. He's not going to do that, you know? The change is here. And I'm going to wrap up with this because it's all here. Everything is here, okay? In the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous, in the first forward, it said the first 100 people in Alcoholics Anonymous recovered. They're not still recovering after 20 years. They recovered. They recovered from a seemingly hopeless state of mind. Not from alcoholism. You still can't drink. You know, I mean, I guess you can if you want to, but it's a hopeless state of mind that brings us to that place, you know? You go to the doctor, it's like, you have all these aches and pains. It's all in your head. We can't find anything wrong with you. Well, there's gotta be something wrong with me. I'm in pain. Well, have you thought about like maybe some anxiety medication, you know? Because if you're always stressed out, mad at everybody and unforgiving, this is how you walk around all the time. Of course your neck's gonna hurt, you know? Here. And then you get this, and what does it say? Renew the mind. That's where it all starts. It's all in our heads, you know? Everyone in this room, if you were abused, hurt, if they said bad things to you, if they ripped your heart out, I'm sorry. I'm just saying I'm sorry that you had to go through that. But what doesn't kill us makes us stronger, man. You know, you all got such an amazing testimony and story to tell. I just know it, just looking at you. Be real and pray about it. If there's somebody that's God's putting on your heart that maybe you got to walk through something, do it. Because it's so worth it. You know, and when you forgive, it doesn't mean that you are saying what you did to me was okay. When you forgive, what you're saying is what you did to me is not going to affect my life anymore. I have goosebumps. Wow. It's not going to affect me anymore. You no longer have a hold on me. And when that happens, it's truly, truly amazing. And just thank you so much for asking me to come and share.
Thank you.
This has been wonderful.